By intuitively grasping their connection to the universe, humans did not always view themselves as separate from the larger cosmos. Instead, our ancestors saw themselves as a microcosm that mirrors the macrocosm, operating under the same universal laws. In contemporary terms, this can be understood as the anthropomorphization of the universe, an approach where the cosmos is interpreted through a human lens. This process is scientifically explained as projecting human paradigms onto the universe, leading to a profound self-recognition. However, it is clear that this is not merely a matter of projection, but of profound insight into the nature of reality which our ancestors had acquired. This reality is not seen as a product of our own projections, but a manifestation of a cosmic order, a cosmic paradigm that shapes humanity and commands reverence. It is regarded as the creation of a higher power, often envisioned as a god or multiple deities, far beyond our rank. This core idea of the Logos underpins many phenomena, and in this video we will explore just 3 fundamental representations of this understanding. But before we continue, I must express my sincere gratitude to our growing Patreon community, whose steadfast support represents the roots that sustain the world tree, allowing all to drink from the waters of wisdom that flow beneath it. Together we uphold the ancient spirit of knowledge, bridging myth and reality for all who seek enlightenment. Artifacts discovered at several Paleolithic sites in Europe and Asia feature engraved motifs arranged in numerical patterns of 7, 14, 21 and 28 elements. These artifacts, often bone objects used as jewelry like bracelets or possibly as amulets, suggest that between 20,000 and 10,000 BC, humans began measuring time based on the lunar cycle's phases. Additionally, these numerical patterns tracked another natural phenomenon, the menstrual cycle, which closely aligns with the lunar cycle. These findings represent humanity's first attempts at time measurement and mathematical operations, and they reveal an early recognition of a universal order, or logos, that governs both nature and human existence, particularly women's. This insight likely fostered a perception of interconnectedness between humans and the cosmos, with humans seen as a microcosm reflecting the larger macrocosm. This interaction between women and the moon also involves another natural phenomenon, the tides. Here, water plays the role of a cosmic element essential for the birth and growth of life. In nature, this is seen in celestial and terrestrial waters believed to spring from the womb of Mother Earth, supporting the growth of vegetation. In a woman's body, this life-giving element is represented by the amniotic sac where the fetus develops and grows. This life-giving component is also attributed to the moon, as reflected in the names for its phases in Slavic languages, such as young moon, old moon, and dying moon. These names suggest that the moon is perceived not as a passive, inanimate object, but as a living being that is born, matures, ages, and dies. Tracking the lunar cycle, its interaction with the tides, and its connection to women's reproductive cycles, with menstruation aligning with 1 lunar cycle and pregnancy lasting 9 lunar cycles, is a universal human phenomenon. This connection has led to a global symbolic identification of the moon, women, and water. This phenomenon is evident in the terminology of the female reproductive cycle. The modern international word menstruation derives from Latin menstruus, meaning monthly, which itself comes from mensis, meaning month, also forming the root of many words related to measurement. Similarly, in Slavic languages, terms for menstruation, such as the Russian mesachnie, align with the meanings of moon as a celestial body and month as a time period. This profound connection between women, the moon, and water is evident in many archaeological sites across Europe. Jewelry found in female graves often features numbers corresponding to the number of days in a lunar month or the lunar phases in a solar year. The placement of this jewelry at the waist, near the hips of the deceased woman, suggests a focus on the reproductive organs in that area. The numerical symbolism of the jewelry likely reflects the reproductive cycle's alignment with the lunar cycle. It can be understood as embodying the impeccable rhythm of divine procreative power, symbolically stimulating or protecting the woman's reproductive organs every day of the month and every week of the year. The Slavic term priroda, meaning nature, derives from the root rod, meaning birth, which resonates in the commonly used phrase Maica priroda, or Mother Nature. Similarly, Latin natura and ancient Greek physis also signify nature, while indirectly alluding to birth and symbolically to genitalia and the vulva. These connections between humans and the universe can be interpreted as reflection of an ancient understanding or sense of the divine order or logos. Two concepts support this interpretation. The initial stages of human existence unfold within and upon the mother's body. During this time, she represents the child's entire universe. Initially, the womb shields the fetus from the external world, leaving it without direct perceptions of reality during its gestation. Post-birth, the child continues to live, enveloped by the mother's physical presence, her breasts, lap, and her embrace. Despite physical separation, the bond remains crucial, evident in the child's reliance on the mother for sustenance, such as milk, warmth, heartbeat, voice, touch, and visual image. This interconnectedness persists on a spiritual and physiological level. Physiologists affirm that in early childhood, the child doesn't function autonomously but forms its identity intertwined with the mother's. Even after individualization, in later childhood, the idealized period of unity with the mother remains deeply ingrained in the subconscious of every individual. This influence manifests in adulthood through various means, particularly in collective expressions. These encompass symbolic and mythic religious forms of recognizing the Great Mother within the external world, or nature, or the universe. Analogous to the child's relationship, adults seek from the Great Mother the fulfillment of personal and communal needs, viewing her as an extended self, providing sustenance, warmth, care, protection, and happiness. However, this also encompasses the stern mother who may withhold her blessings due to human disobedience, her children's lack of sufficient love and respect. This macrocosmic mother or Mother Earth also finds social expression personified in national identities as a nurturing figure, such as Mother Europe, Mother Russia, and so forth, requiring love, respect, and defense at all costs. Another reason for symbolically linking the universe or nature with womanhood and motherhood emerges here, one that is pragmatic and less emotional but more topographical in nature. When a woman's figure is juxtaposed against the backdrop of nature, intriguing alignments become apparent, often overlooked by contemporary eyes and minds. Dividing the woman's body into two halves reveals her two fundamental biological functions critical for human existence. Below the waist, these functions are represented by the genitals and womb, where life begins and emerges into the world. Above the waist, the breasts sustain and nurture this life. Similarly, if nature is divided into two halves, a spatial alignment of these functions emerges. The lower half represents the earth, where life, vegetation, is conceived and born, while the upper half symbolizes the sky and clouds from which rain flows, essential for the creation and growth of all living beings. This alignment provides another justification for equating womanhood or motherhood with nature, presenting two complementary aspects of the same symbolic phenomenon, either the cosmization of womanhood or the feminization of the cosmos. From this observation, it can be concluded that the concepts of Mother Nature or Mother Earth are among the primary symbols of the Logos, of the cosmic order, deeply rooted in humanity's earliest cultural symbols. Ancient humans viewed the Mother as a paradigm for understanding the order, meaning, and functioning of the universe. To them, the natural order, and by extension the universe, was maternal, ensuring that, despite occasional harshness, it ultimately provided nourishment, sustenance, and care to its inhabitants. Besides the cosmic order, another fundamental paradigm essential to human existence is the institution of marriage, understood biologically as the union of sexual partners and sociologically and economically as a family unit. This symbolic link gains depth when we consider its biological aspects, such as the roles of husband and wife. In this framework, the complementary elements of the universe, earth and sky, are identified respectively with woman and man, wife and husband, mother and father. Similar to earlier examples, the interaction between the actual functions of these elements in both systems forms the basis for their equivalence. Earth is often associated with woman due to her roles as direct creator and sustainer of life. As such, following the principle of complementarity, the husband is linked to the sky. Here, the husband's fertilizing power, understood through archaic consciousness, parallels specific cosmic phenomena such as rain linked to seminal fluid, essential for plant growth from the earth. Similarly, solar light is equated with the husband's erotic ardor, crucial for conception and the growth of both child and vegetation. This is exemplified by creation myths worldwide often depicting narratives rooted in marriage, portrayed as a hierogamy or a hierosgamos, a sacred marriage, a sacred union between deities of different genders, symbolizing essential cosmic elements. For instance, in Greek mythology, Uranus, heaven, and Gaia, earth, and in Hinduism, Dyaus and Prithvi represent such primordial beings. The same mythological pattern can be observed in the surviving traces of Slavic mythology, but this will be a topic for another video. These mythical symbolic frameworks extend to other manifestations of opposition, where woman and earth embody static, stable, and accessible qualities, while man and sky embody dynamic, changeable, and transcendent characteristics. Ultimately, woman represents the material aspect reflected in her primary biological role of creating the physical body of the child, illustrated through the Latin roots of mater and materia. Conversely, man represents the spiritual aspect, although mysterious and intangible, influencing female creativity. Despite the apparent logic in these elements, cultures like ancient Egypt invert this order, portraying the earth as a male god, Geb, and the sky as the goddess, Nut. This inversion is a result of Egypt's ecological reality, where the source of creativity in the universe is the water from the sky that saturates the dry earth rather than the barren earth itself. The interplay of these symbolic systems reveals humanity's early understanding of the relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm and the shared divine order that sustains them. For every woman, this connection echoes the essence of the Great Mother, intertwined with various natural phenomena imbued with her presence. Similarly, every man embodies the essence of the Sky Father. Marriage, as a union of opposites, embodies this cosmic duality, reflecting not only the balance of the universe but also affirming the ancient belief that harmony in human relationships mirrors harmony in the cosmos. Through marriage, humans sought to align themselves with the cosmic order, fostering a profound sense of connection and a purpose within the vast cosmic framework. If you're interested in learning more, especially about Slavic mythology, I suggest you check out my books which delve deep into these topics. Likewise, if you want to support this channel and gain access to a wealth of information, consider supporting it on Patreon. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.